Well, hello, precious friends. How are y'all doing today? I hope that everybody is doing great, and I'm so glad that you came back. Thank you again for giving this channel a chance, and for so many of you subscribing. I sincerely appreciate you. Now, this morning when I was out driving around, I was trying to think of something fun that I could do for y'all today to help maybe lull you to sleep later on tonight. And so I have all sorts of ideas, but this I thought might be a little calming. And so, do you remember all of that soap that together we used on the beveling piece of wood, and we beveled all of these soaps to make them pretty? Well, today we're going to wrap them together, and then I'm going to do a little bit of rambling as we wrap them. I have some wonderfully great crinkling sounds that I think that you're going to enjoy. These are the boxes that we're going to put the soap in. Here are our little boxes, and they have a little window on them so that you can see the soap inside. Now, all I need to do is open it up like that, and then close up the bottom, and then take the soap and pop it in. And then I can just shut the lid just like that. And I've got a label that I'll put on these, so it'll tell the company name, and then it'll have the ingredients and then the fragrance name on the label as well. And so what I'll do is I will take these to my treatment room where I'm an esthetician in town, and I'll sell these soaps at the shop. So I work 2 days a week as a holistic esthetician, and I rent my own space from a wonderful lady who owns a salon. And so it's full of hairdressers and a massage therapist, and then we have a young lady who does eyebrows, and then me, I'm the esthetician there. And I love doing that, and I love skincare. I love helping people if they have skin issues, because I had severe skin issues at one time in my life. When I was about 25, I had severe acne, hormonal acne, and it was all along my jawline, down my neck, on my chest, and on my back. And I mean, it was whelps. It was really, really bad, and it devastated me to have that, because I didn't know what to do about it. And you know, back then I didn't know anything about holistic doctors, and I didn't even know at the time that it was hormonal acne. I wish I had known, because I wound up taking Accutane, and it was a miracle drug. It worked beautifully. I took it for 6 months, but it's rough. It is really, really rough on your system. And I experienced depression when I took it, and I didn't realize until after I was finished with it that it can cause depression, and I had severe depression as I was taking it. So it's so crazy how drugs can be helpful in some cases, but I wish I had known more, because I don't think I ever would have taken it, because it's very powerful. It did help, and I'm grateful for that, but the side effects were so severe that I almost wish that I hadn't taken it. But anyway, that's part of the reason why I like skincare, and I like being a holistic esthetician, because even though I'm technically not supposed to advise people on diet or exercise, I do let people know that those two things can help tremendously, because when I cut out sugar and dairy for the most part and white flour, everything changed with my skin. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to eat. I'm a southerner. I love to eat, but cutting those mostly processed, over processed foods out of my system, that's what really did it. That's what really helped my skin. So anyway, how do we get off on that? Oh yeah, okay, I am an esthetician, so I do take care of your skin. So handmade soap. Now, we talked a little bit about this in a video a few days ago when we beveled the soap. I've been making this for almost 30 years now, and that seems unbelievable to think about, that I've been doing it for so long, but I have had a fascination with homemade soap. But I'll tell you, I was at, let me think of the name of the place. It's on Asheville Highway in Strawberry Plains, Tennessee. And it's the Ramsey House. That's where it was. It was the Ramsey House, and it was called a country fair and market. And they were having some sort of an anniversary party there for the Ramsey House. And so I went with my mother and grandmother, and there was a lady there making handmade soap and selling it. And so it was, have you ever come across something that you were just drawn to like a magnet, and you couldn't pull yourself away from it? That's how I felt when I walked up to that lady, because she was so knowledgeable and so friendly and so warm and receptive of questions. And she was letting people were walking up to her booth, and they were all sniffing her soaps and handling her soaps, and she was just there to be supportive and of service to people and tell us all about her soaps. And of course, you know, she wanted us to buy it too. So I was intrigued. Oh my God. I know it seems weird for somebody to get so excited about soap, but I'm telling you, it is awesome, because there is something about taking oil and water and lye or sodium hydroxide, mixing those things together, adding fragrance and a little bit of color, and then letting it set for several weeks to cure. And then you're able to use it to get yourself clean. And then not only that, but you've put those ingredients together yourself, so you know exactly what goes into it. And it's just, it's always been intriguing to me. So I was so happy to have learned how to make it all those years ago. And I think too, my grandmother said that she used to make soap when she was a little girl. She made it the hard way. I mean, it's a lot harder than just going down to the store and buying it, but they had to make their own lye. And she was telling me that she lost her engagement ring one time because my granddaddy had asked her to marry him, and he gave her an engagement ring. And she was digging through the ashes in the fireplace to get the ashes out, and she lost her engagement ring in those ashes. But the reason why she was digging through the ashes wasn't just because she was cleaning out the fireplace. It was because she was trying to get the big pieces of charcoal out and save the thinner pieces of ash, because from my understanding, the old way of making lye was you poured water through that ash, and that liquid was the sodium hydroxide, or the liquid that they used to make soap. So their lye soap back in the day with lard and that pot ash, I believe is what they called it. So I may be wrong about those terms, but anyway, so I mean, isn't that neat to think about? And And so I think that's what fascinated me about the whole process in the beginning. And then, you know, seeing that lady talk about it and then smelling all of the wonderful fragrances, it's just, it was magic to me. It's absolutely magic. So I have taught people how to make soap for years and years too. I used to sell it at the farmer's market. So when I had children, my first was born in 1999, and so we've got 3 children. Well, they're grown adults now, but anyway, when I found out I was pregnant with our first child, my husband and I decided that I would stay at home and raise the children. So, you know, when they're babies, we had 3, and when they're babies, you're so busy, you don't think about doing extracurricular things. I didn't anyway. I was overwhelmingly busy. But when they got older and were able to, you know, not have to be with me quite so often, I started investigating different ways that I could earn money, but then have them involved with it too. So our little town started a farmer's market, and I got to thinking, oh my goodness, I've got so many different things that I can make and take to the farmer's market and sell. So I signed up, and I also had to have my kitchen inspected by the Department of Agriculture in North Carolina, because you have to meet a certain criteria before you can take baked goods to a farmer's market to sell to the public. So my kitchen passed, and I was able to make and sell baked goods. And so I would bake bread, and I would make jam and jelly. I would make candles and soap, and I would take it down to the farmer's market every Thursday, and my kids and I would set up a little tent, and then we would set up all of our things on display, and we would sell our goods. And so it was a lot of fun. Those were the sweetest, best little days. I don't know if my kids would say that now. They might someday, but it was nice because they got to interact with the public and talk to adults, and they knew how to make change, because back then we didn't have Venmo or Cash App, so it was difficult for people to pay. Otherwise, you know, you had to use cash pretty much. And so I had my little box of money there, and my kids would add up the total for what somebody bought, and then people would give the money to the kids, and then they'd make change, and they'd bag it up. And it was just a fun time. I didn't make diddly squat doing it, but it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. It was a way to make a little bit of money off of what I had bought and the time that I spent. And then it was a good time with the kids together. So we had a lot of fun. And so I miss those days. That was a sweet time. And I've noticed there are several brands of soap when you go to the store that are out just with the soap on display, and it's not covered. And I think that's great because you can smell it and you can feel it too, which is nice. But I kind of prefer to keep it in a box, keep it wrapped up, because it seems more sanitary if strangers aren't touching the soap. I mean, it's probably fine, but I just like to keep it in a box. It makes the presentation prettier. Oops. So I'll get all of these wrapped up, like I said, and then when I go to work on Thursday, I will have them for sale for my clients who come into the treatment room. And I'm getting ready to go out later today because I teach paint parties. And so I go to the senior center, the West Stanley Senior Center, and I teach painting classes to the senior citizens in our county. And we have so much fun. So we're going to paint a bunny rabbit today, an Easter bunny rabbit. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And I have a fun video coming up for you too for Easter, because I was listening to our friend, our beautiful, wonderful Aunty Angel, our friend Kimberly from Angel on My Shoulder, and she was talking about her Easter bags that she makes and how she used to put a jump rope. I think she called it a skipping rope. I love listening to people from different parts of the country talk because she's from Canada, and so hearing, I mean, it is a skipping rope, but we always called it a jump rope. So it's fun to hear that the different things that people call different objects. But anyway, and she talked about how she got a skipping rope in her bag when she was a little girl, and her brothers got Hot Wheels. And so anyway, my boys got Hot Wheels too. And my little girl usually got a Polly Pocket in her little Easter bag at Easter. But I have a fun video for you to show you what we do for Easter, even though our kids are grown up and one's getting ready to get married. It's a sweet, sweet time in life. And this bar, oh, there it goes. That one kind of acted like it didn't want to go down in there. Let's see here. And so far, I just think that this looks, you can see the colors in there. And I think that that just looks so pretty when they're in there together like that. And I love these sounds. And when my eyes went this way, I was looking at the microphone. I have a Blue Yeti microphone over here, and I think that makes a big difference, don't y'all? The first 3 videos that I filmed, I have a little Rode microphone that I used, and it worked well, but then I had this Blue Yeti in a drawer, and I keep calling it Blue Yeti. Excuse me, it's going to make a noise here. Let's see. Yeah, it is a blue. You hear that? That's a good tingle sound, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, having a better microphone does make a difference in all those sounds. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 more bars left to wrap. So we're going to open one more package here of this, the boxes. Rubber band. Take that off there. Now, we'll wrap the final 9 here. I just got back about 30 minutes ago. I went over to my son's new house. He just moved into a new home, and that's the home that he'll be sharing with his bride come June. So we're so excited to have a new daughter in our family. She's wonderful too. So they're making all their wedding plans and getting everything together. And weddings certainly can be expensive these days. I've been a little shocked at how much they cost. When we got married in 1995, our entire wedding, including my dress and the photos, was $3,000. And now I see people spending, oh my goodness, so much more than that. And I mean, that's fine, to each his own, but we had a little church wedding, and our food was pretty much potluck. There was a little building out behind the church that was called the Fellowship Hall, and so we went back there and had our cake and our punch and our mints and our nuts, and then my mother-in-law worked in a restaurant, and she knew a lot of ladies who cooked, and so she asked them to bring in some food. So they made some sandwiches and made, fruit bowls and things like that. And then my sister-in-law had a punch bowl mold in which you could put flowers in and then pour the water in and freeze it, so that the punch bowl was just a piece of ice with all these pretty flowers in it. So we had that, and I mean, it was sweet. It was a sweet wedding, but it didn't cost a whole lot at all. So things are very different with all of the wonderful things that people do nowadays for their weddings. So it's a lot of fun. I've always loved weddings. Got one more here, and this is I think I'm going to change the name of this one, and maybe y'all can help me with this. Okay, so the name on the bottle of the fragrance oil was called Fruit Slices. And I started to call it Juicy Fruit, but I think that we could come up with a better name for it. So think about what you would call a soap that smells fruity, smells a little bit like juicy fruit gum, and it also has the strongest fragrance I'm smelling in here is sort of a grapefruit fragrance coming through. So it's citrus for sure. So let's do that. Would y'all help me, please? Let's come up with a name. Put it in the comments what we can call this bar of soap, this fragrant bar of soap. Again, it's a juicy fruit gum, hints of orange, and maybe a touch of vanilla undertones in there. So help me come up with a name. I'd love to name this soap something that one of y'all suggested. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be so fantastic. Let me know. Leave it in the comments, and I'm going to choose one of them. And listen, whoever I pick, whoever gives me the winning name that I choose, I'm going to send you a bar soap. How's that? Let's do that. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's do that. So y'all leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think will be a good name for that soap. I've got the other two names, but that one is kind of, I don't really want to call it Fruit Slices. That seems kind of boring. Let's call it something else. So y'all help me come up with something. There we go. We got the last one there. This has been great fun. I had to sit here and do this, and all my little friends on YouTube are out here, and you're doing it with me at the same time. So this made this little chore much faster and much sweeter, because I know that y'all are on the other side of this. So thank you so much. And listen, again, I'm never going to get over this. I am never going to get over this. I am overwhelmed at the kindness that I have found in this ASMR community. It is mind-blowing to me, and I want to make those videos. Some of you have suggested different types of videos, and again, I've got it written down on my editorial calendar, and I plan on doing it. And so if you ever have any more suggestions, please let me know. But again, just thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to subscribe to the channel and for watching the video, and then leaving such kind comments and letting me know things about you or about your life. That means a lot, and that's not something that I take lightly. That means a great deal to me. So thank you again for that. Well, listen, my friends, I think that all of you are just so very special. And like I always say, you are somebody because God does not make junk. And I'm talking to you. I am talking to you, dear precious one. You remember that, okay? I'll see you on the next video. Take good care.